don't know if we can start recording. Oh, fantastic. All right. So, good evening once again um, to every member of the Kaizen group that is joining today. I'm excited. Why? Because I'm still reveling very happily from the chit chat with the guru that we had last week. It was exciting. Too fun. And I'm sure almost everyone, I mean, virtually everyone on the call that day can attest to the fact that it was an exciting experience and we look forward to more every quarter. So today we're back to our reviews, our weekly reviews. Before the chit chat, we had game night, and before then we had Kazim and Oluwatoyin Ajala doing justice to, of course, we all know we're still reading Making It Big by Femi Otedola. So they did justice to section 2, lesson 7, which is own your USB like a maestro. That was about 3 weeks ago, if I remember correctly. And so 3 weeks later, we have another fantastic, very powerful lady. Her name is Sumaya Olakumi Layule. I hope I pronounced the surname correctly. And she's here. What does she want to do? Sumaya wants to take us through the section 2, lesson 8 of this book, which is titled Have Role Models and Mentors. I read this chapter. In fact, I had to read it piece by piece because I felt like I couldn't just read everything at once. It would look like some things are escaping me. So I had to take my time to read it chunk by chunk. I had to finish it today. And I'm excited to discuss it, to be fair. But I know Sumaya is also ready for us. So I'll let her go through with it. I'm expecting everybody to also have one or two inputs because there's no way that you'd say that this chapter has not touched you or relates to you some way or the other. So I'm expecting a very conversational session subsequently. Hi, Sumaya, just to confirm that you can hear me, I'm audible, and you're ready for us.
All right, thank you so much. Hello everyone, good evening. Can you confirm you can hear me also?
Loud and clear.
All right, thank you so much once again. So good evening everyone. My name is Ambassador Sumaya Olakumilayole. And I think you really tried in pronouncing my name. Aside my last name that you pronounced as Layole or something. But that's fine. I'm excited to be here too after having an intensive session, an insightful one from last week. Chit chat with Guru, and I'm still taking in the lesson that I learned from last week. So quickly, we are going to go into what we have today, which is lesson 8: have role models and mentors. Um, as humans, that is enthusiastic about growth, that wants to develop, that wants to be successful, we should understand that role models and mentors are very, very important in our lives, because without them, we cannot go anywhere. We cannot be able to do anything. Even those that say, okay, I can do it alone, I can do it alone. You cannot do anything alone. You should always have someone that is guiding you through whatever you're going through, because nothing is new. Everybody has passed through it. The same thing you are doing, that same course you are studying, 100,000 people has passed through it. The same career you just got into, a lot of people have passed through it. So it's very important for one to have role models and mentors. So from this chapter, I'm going to classify what I've learned into six. I join it into six different aspects and probably go into some aspects that do not fall under the six that I classified. So first of all, we need to understand that mentors and role models are two different people entirely. According to the book, Femi Otedola explained that he showed us how mentors and role model actually shaped his life to where he is today. And all he learns from his role models and mentors are also helping him in nurturing his own children, right? In this particular chapter, he refers to his father as the mentor, himself as the protege, Yeah, Protege. I don't think that's an English word. Protege. So he referred to himself as that and his father as the role model. So he said, according to the book, that mentors are older people, they are more experienced in your field, they share personal experiences with you. You know, as someone that you call a mentor, the person should have a personal relationship with you, the person guides you, the person communicates with you constantly, the person like shows you way and guide you from time to time, and the person is always consistent. That's what makes someone a mentor. It's actually deeper than that, but briefly and simply, that's who a mentor is. When we talk about role models, they are inspirational figures that you may want to emulate. You study them, and you actually want to replicate their success, and most times better than them. So first thing that everybody should yeah, your role models, it's possible you have never met them. Your role models can actually be dead. Yeah, probably legends, people that have lived years ago, you know. So as young people or people generally, we need to understand that mentors are not role models. So you do not mistake them when you're trying to develop yourself, right? And as I stated earlier, mentors are closer to you. Role models are people that are far from you. You just study them, you emulate them, and probably try to replicate their success. That's for mentors and role models. Now, so my number one thing that I learned here, according to him, is that his father was his greatest influence. All what he was talking about in the book, the first person that had the most impactful the first person that impacted him the most was his father, and that was why his father was his mentor, right? So as a human, as a person, your father can be your mentor, your mother can be your mentor, people outside your parents also can be your mentors, as long as they fit into the criteria to be referred to as a mentor. So he speaks, according to the book, it was really emotional to me about he was speaking about his father and how he deeply admired him. And according to him, and the way his father related with him, his father allowed him to make mistakes so he could learn. The mistakes he made in his life was what his father made him was what his father used to actually teach him a lot of lessons. He also taught him how to survive in difficult situations. He passed his wisdom through corrections, conversation, and daily life lessons. It's not just about going to school, okay, that is the only way to learn and stuff like that, right? He also mentored him unconsciously, according to him. Before he actually referred to his father as a mentor, like a mentor, his father has always been mentoring him unconsciously, right? So he also stated in the book that what makes someone successful is not just money, it's also about the character and informal things that someone actually learned from a mentor. Yeah, another thing from what I took from the book was that mentors open doors for people. They open you, they guide, expose the opportunities, they connect you with influential people, and they avoid you making costly mistakes, right? Everybody make mistake in the world, like you make a mistake when you're just starting something up, you can fall. But when you have a mentor in your field, it reduces the risk of mistake you're going to be having, right? Mentors might want to leave you sometimes to fail and probably come back and take corrections from that, but it reduces the way you make mistake, right? You want to swim and you just jump into the water and you say, okay, I'll find my way. How do you want to find your way without having someone that will even instruct you? Let's say the person don't want to get into the pool with you, at least he will tell you that, okay, when you are swimming, don't raise your hand inside the water because you're going to sink. If you're drowning, do not do this, do not do that. So it is very, very important to have mentors in whatever you do, because their role in your life can never be underestimated. And they connect you with influential people. The things that you're actually going to struggle to get, they're going to give it to you easier than when you're struggling to get it. Another thing I learned from the book was that experience can teach better than school. Experience teaches more than school. You know, school is a formal way of learning and informal way of learning. And most of the things he learned in his life was actually informally, right? A major part of his life was when he dropped out from school. His mother was not pleased with it. She was heartbroken, and because she was heartbroken because she believed that education, I mean formal education, going to school was the only way to be successful. She just believed that, okay, education guarantees success. However, it's not this way. And the father supported him because he believed that people have different paths in the world. Otedola also mentioned that when his father is his mentor, so when he was looking up for role models and everything, he mentioned that people that he actually looked up to, or people that are looking like they want to be in his field, most of them do not actually have a structured formal education. He made mention of John Rockefeller, he made mention of Henry Ford, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of them like that, that they did not pass through a strong formal head a strong formal education. It was like, okay, this can actually be on my way, maybe, right? And the guidance of his father was what actually assisted him, because if you compare it to what is going on in this world today, if someone drops out from school without someone guiding you the way you actually drop out, you're going to end up taking drugs or doing whatever. But his father played a significant role in his life. So at this point, it's not he emphasized that it's not just trying to say that education is useless. It is very, very important. In fact, very, very important. But we should have it at the back of our mind that formal education is not the only route to success. And the opposite of formal education also is not dropping out. There are a lot of things you can actually do to complement the formal education, not to replace the formal education, right? Another thing that I also learned, my fourth lesson from this book, is real life exposure matters. Real life exposure matters than just staying in school, and this applies to young people like me and everybody that might also be in school too. So he entered the business environment early in his teenage, according to the book. It was after he dropped out, when his mates were in the sixth grade and everything. That's when he had started showing some kind of sign and everything that he has this business potential. So he entered it early. He learned directly from people. He observed, he studied people, like he studied successful individuals closely, and he gained hands-on experience from his father. So he called this real world learning. That's actually real world learning. Real world learning is not just the four walls of the classroom, it can be informal education and mentorship. Yeah. And that thing that I also learned is mentorship requires humility. It requires humility because mentorship will only work if the learner is teachable. Mentorship will only work if the learner is teachable, right? And he is a teachable. No, he as a learner is someone that is humble. So with the way he listens, with the way he observes, with his patience, humility, and willingness to learn, this makes him a teachable person. Let me just go over what he emphasized again. I was able to use from the book. He listens, he observes, he's patient, he has humility, and is also willing to learn. So all this together makes him a teachable person, right? So the next thing that I also learned from this book is that successful people, they leave behind a kind of pattern, because after studying a lot of them, we found out that these people are disciplined, they are consistent, they take risk because everything was not smooth. They are resilient, they are hardworking, they network with people, and they have a very strong vision for wherever they are going to, right? So he also advises everyone, like the readers, that when you see successful people, I mean your role models, instead of just envying them, you actually study them calmly, read about them, learn about them, and yeah, you're going to find your way. So let me just go over the five things about mentor, the five qualities or the five most important things about mentorship, and we call it mentee mentorship, mentee mentor relationship. Before now, I just think, okay, mentors are to mentees, but I got to know that mentors are to protege, if I pronounce it protege. So a protege is someone that actually learns from a mentor. That's the receiver of whatever knowledge that the mentor is giving out. So the number one is that mentors will always help you along the way to success. Mentors give real life experience, and the protege should also be willing to put in the work. Because about this kind of relationship, it must be a tit for tat relationship, right? If you were a kind of person that wasn't willing to learn, definitely his father is not going to put in so much effort to build him. And at some point in his life, his father gave him 250,000 euros to build his life, to build up something. I can't remember, I'm sorry. So his father gave him that huge amount of money, and he also passed that same knowledge to his children. DJ Copy, as stated in the book, and the first time he gave her 10,000, 10, let me confirm the amount of money. But the first time he gave her that amount of money,
10
but what
million.
she used it for, it flopped. Yeah, 10 million. Yeah, yeah. What she used it for, it flopped. And like that was something that was really, really, is normally that thing is not something that actually sits you, but it knows that okay, this person is learning, and he still put that through through it. Another thing is that mentors will treat you with warmth and respect, and mentors don't just show you, mentors don't just tell you, they don't just speak and speak, they actually show you the way, they hold your hand through whatever process you're going through. So this was what I personally was able to take from the book, and I'm glad that I actually read it, and this was what I was able to take from this particular chapter. And some really, mentors are not role models, but the both of them work hand in hand. They are very, very important in your life. So one thing I just want to add before I wrap up is that you as a person, you should have a role model, and mentor stated earlier. So when you have a role model, someone you are looking up to, you can't reach out to the person might be dead. All you can do is to just study from the person, and just study the person, read the person's book. However, you might not get everything you actually need from a role model only if you do not have a mentor, right? So they work hand in hand. When you have a role model, you get a mentor that's probably in that field, and to guide you through it, and and teach you as it should be, because your role models era might have been gone, but you need a mentor to actually put you through whatever you want to do in life. So thank you so much for having me. I hope you learned one or 10 from what I said, and I'm looking forward to also hearing from those who read the book to complement what I've learned. Thank you so much.
That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Sumaya. That was beautiful. That was fantastic. Thank you so so much. You, if I say you did justice now, that would be an understatement. But you really mentored us on the chapter, if you permit me to use that word. But thank you so much. It was practical, it was simple, and it was straight to the point. So I mean, you can see the reactions pouring in. Thank you so so much, Maya. People are really loving this your review. We'll take a few comments from I think reviewers as well on this particular chapter. But before I open the floor up, one thing I just, well, not more than one, but I'll just say this first that I would like to add is, while reading the chapter, there was one particular video that just kept on replaying in my head. And maybe, I don't know if I'll have Kazim's permission to share, because I think I first saw it from him sharing it. The video had somebody on stage saying, "I am a beneficiary of success." And that video just kept on playing and playing in my head, that somebody saw you, somebody took you under their arms, and they walked you through to the point where you are. And I, while reading about how Femi Otedola's father, Michael Otedola, took him under his umbrella like an apprentice, even though he was his son, he first took him like an apprentice, started to walk him through the very petty, like going on errands, doing all this very minor work, until he started growing gradually through the various stages and ranks, and earned his place in his father's own practice. I think it was the printing firm or so, and became a salesperson and all of that. And it just helped me to know that, see, man, success is much more giving. Somebody looked at us, or somebody would look at us and say, "Nah, this person is going somewhere," and the person will take us on that wing. Sometimes it may not even be official mentor-mentee relationship. Like his own was not official, like, but he saw that relationship as a mentorship relationship. So we need to discover that. Look for people around you that want to see you succeed, that have walked the path and that guided you through that path. And I, till today, I still look for, and I've seen some in my place of work, I've seen some in my place of worship, and I still keep looking so that they can guide me through practical steps. I can tell them my experiences, they can share me their wisdom. Let's take comments though, so that I don't spend much time. We still have like about 5 minutes thereabout. So you have comments, if you want to say something, please feel free to unmute your mic, add a thing or two. And then we'll see where that takes us. Is there anybody?
Okay, so I'm raising my hand,
Hello,
and
good evening,
then
everyone.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, Kazim, we can hear you.
So,
Oh,
selflessness is also raising his hand. So maybe after me you'll go. Okay, so I
all right.
just want to emphasize on the benefit of getting a mentor and also a role model. Sincerely, um, this is the first time I'm getting clarity on the difference between both of them. We all know it subconsciously. Because for someone like me now, as a Muslim, my biggest role model is the Prophet. So Prophet Muhammad. So it's even stated in our book that that's the biggest role model you can have. But honestly, I did not separate it really from a mentor in these clear terms. And we all need to appreciate the fact that we truly need people to hold our hand and take us through this journey. And I will share an experience. A practical experience I will share is finance or financial management or personal finance management. When I started work, as a young man, you're trying to build stuff, you're trying to buy. But I realized that I could not really make financial decisions that can project me into the future, that can make me what I want to be economically. So myself and my wife, we spoke and then we approached a mentor, one of the very reliable mentor, and the person still mentors me till today. And I told the person the problem. The problem is this is what I earn. I believe that I can save more and have more than what I currently do. But I'm not getting it. I can't just do it. And the person told me, can you show me this, show me this, show me this? And at the end of the day, what came out of that mentorship was a budgeting, um, technique that I've been adopting for over 11 years now. And I can tell you clearly, I can see the future clearly that following this path consistently, I can achieve it. This is something I work with a financial institution. I roll with a lot of people, but I've never thought of that practical steps of fixing that kind of problem until somebody pointed it to me and kept me honest until I got matured in that journey. So nobody can be, you can never underestimate the impact of someone that has passed through that route before to mentor you. So please, I beg everyone to explore it, have a role model, and then also be deliberate and intentional about having a mentor. And that mentor must be somebody that can keep you honest, not somebody you bully. Right. So thank you, Moses. And thank you, Ambassador. And I also want to mention, Sumaya said she's an ambassador. Yes, she's truly an ambassador. I think it has gotten to a point where we need to invite, be introducing some of our guests. So in Lagos State, just to mention, in Lagos State government is deliberate about getting some youth that are mentors, that are ambassadors of different areas. Like there are 5 areas. There's Ikeja, there is Badagry, there is Ikorodu, there is Lagos, and there is Ekpe. So each of them, Lagos State government picked ambassadors, and they have direct contact and relationship with the Lagos State governor. So Ambassador Sumaya is one of them, and she's a representative of Ekpe Division. So just to mention that. So we are honored and we did not in any way
wow.
belittle your honor,
I
Ambassador Sumaya.
pardon me, Ambassador Sumaya. Pardon me.
Moses, you better do the right thing next time before someone will come and arrest you. So selflessness over to
I
you.
apologize. Over to you, selflessness. Thank you so much, Kazim.
Okay, good everyone. So I want to start from where Kasim started too. I think this night, I'm realizing that the difference between a mentor and a role model. As I say something, that your role model must have died, but your mentor will still teach you, will still guide you on those, because the life your role model lived might be different from what you are living now. So you actually need a mentor to guide you. And I never regretted participating in this edition of a Kaizen group. In fact, that is my number one takeaway. Number two is, I think Otedola as the O, I think it's more of like an outlier. Because when we read that outlier, that book, there are so many things that can make somebody to be successful in life. But one thing that can stand you out is being an outlier. I think one of the things that assisted, because during this period, we may have so many Otedolas at that period, but they could not make it to this stage because one thing is missing: being an outlier. He learned directly from his father. He learned as not, he's not even, the father was even looking at him as a child, as someone that is coming to learn. So that particular opportunity itself gave him an edge over other people that at that moment means they were dropped out from school, they might have fled for business. We may have fled for business, but so many things are involved too. To also want to become successful in whatever areas that you want to put yourself in. So I think Otedola is also more of what an outlier. When we look at what you have discussed in the previous book we have read, the outlier. So those are my two takeaways from this session this night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, selflessness. Thank you so much. Yes, and I think that's also very dominant. You can see similarities between some of the things that help you to be an outlier and in the life of Otedola as well. So yes, I agree 100%. I think we're like few minutes past our time, so I don't think we'll be able to take any more comments. But this is just say thank you to everyone that joined. I really appreciate this session was interesting. The book is amazing. It's packed. In fact, I don't even know where every chapter is just a new session. So please let's continue to attend and let's get everyone to also participate as well. Kazim dropped a snippet in somebody's reply to say something is loading. I won't say much more, but eventually when it comes out, you guys will be aware. So let me just point you guys to that comment. And then finally to say go also to our social media channels and engage us. Feel free to reach out if you want to be a reviewer, if you want to also take up the next chapter or lesson of this book. We are very, 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 very open to taking you on. So thank you so much. Please engage all our socials. Subscribe, like, follow us, and all of those. And feel free to share some of these videos with your friends and family so it reaches to many other people. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining Kaizen session today again. I'll see you guys next week, and I hope it's another wonderful, wonderful, amazing session with your chat. All right. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your